If you're like me, you grow up watching Discovery and History Channel on a daily basis, with Survivorman being one of my childhood highlights. The Canadian show aired internationally from 2004 through 2016 and has sustained a loyal following. Its host and star, Les Stroud, is still active in the survivalist community and active on his YouTube channel. But did you know the wilderness expert also has experience as a Bigfoot researcher? Les is well known also for his Survivorman Bigfoot episodes, and he has made appearances on podcasts and panels discussing the topic of Sasquatch phenomenon and his own personal experiences and encounters. Let's take a closer look at his interesting opinions during a 2019 interview with John Zeta. When asked how he became caught up in the subject, he said it came to him naturally. While filming his Survivorman show while alone in the wilderness, there were times when he had experiences he could only explain as Bigfoot, but he couldn't mention it on the show or ever really, without his show being derailed and made into something it wasn't. Les kept his experiences to himself for a long time because he didn't want it to distract from the point of Survivorman, which was teaching survival amongst nature, not a cryptid search. This only changed when recording during a live radio interview. When asked on the spot if he had ever seen a Bigfoot, Les decided to be honest, and in the moment he told his stories in detail, which of course made waves among Sasquatch believers who had long since wondered that question for themselves. It's important to note that Les, despite his own experiences, has never taken a solid stance for or against the existence of Bigfoot, or what exactly it is. He was quoted once as saying, "Nobody knows for certain what the creature is." It seems Les is just convinced that something is out there, but that no one can say absolutely what all that entails. I pointed out the factions, and I drew a line between the positions of "this is a big ape and we can scientifically prove it," and "they're guided by aliens and travel through portals." It's this battleground between all the different attributes of the phenomenon. In Les's opinion, as someone who has spent huge amounts of his life in the wilderness, there is simply more science and evidence for the creature's existence than against it. Certain Sasquatch tracks and audio recordings of vocalizations that are not in human range. If you put all that data in one room and examine it, and then say that there's nothing to any of this, you would look incredibly ridiculous. As for why he is open and interested in the idea of Sasquatch, he stated that for anyone who spends a lot of time outdoors, the idea of a great ape existing in the wilderness just makes sense biologically, to the point it almost seems obvious or commonplace. But he feels like the media's portrayal of the phenomenon has hurt the reputation of any serious discussions and research. He notes Animal Planet's hugely popular show finding Bigfoot as a major culprit of this. His opinion is that the producers undermined the tone of the show and made it into a joke and cultural punchline, which in turn makes the average viewer and general public think it's all a bunch of clowns yelling in the woods at night, which it honestly mostly was. But the end result is creating an even more easily dismissed climate around the topic for anyone trying to look at research seriously. Yes, the show brought the subject into the mainstream, but at what cost? Is it just something to mock, or a phenomenon worthy of delving into with scientific skepticism? Sadly, it's the former when it comes to how the producers of Finding Bigfoot handled the subject matter. They wanted ratings, not answers. When asked if he knows about the many film frames fans of Survivorman have posted online, sure that a Bigfoot is visible and hiding in the background of the screen, Les respectfully replied, "My editor and I were curious, so we went back and looked at those episodes. We have the high definition of that footage in those frames. They're just shadows in the trees that are blowing in the background. I checked into every one." This isn't even limited to Survivorman. Anywhere on the internet where a photo or footage of trees can be found, there will be people who have zoomed in on the background and circled a random dark shadow and claim it's a Bigfoot. No matter if they are genuine or just fishing for views and clickbait, the result is the same, and only adds to the mockery believers and researchers have to put up with. One of his most interesting takes on Bigfoot is about the experiences and traditions of the indigenous tribes and peoples, as well as just who exactly it is that believes in Bigfoot. When you have a consistency, for the most part, of experiences and stories, it causes you to think. It can't be a coincidence that some First Nation communities have the same experiences going very, very far back. It's one of the points of reference that stands up to scrutiny. He also went on to say, it's easy for people to think, oh, they're just a bunch of whack jobs who believe in Bigfoot. But that's not what's going on at all. It's not about whack jobs. They're so much more varied in their personalities and perspectives than that. From intelligent, articulate, and highly respected scientists to redneck types, and everything in between. So what do you think of Les Stroud's opinions on Sasquatch, or have you ever watched Survivorman? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time at the Crow's Nest.